What's up everyone, Zachary Seif here. Today we're going to check out the latest Fractal audio firmware for the X-3 and see how all of the vintage amps sound. For those of you who have been around the channel for a while, first of all, I just want to say thank you for coming back. Your support means a ton to me. Every like, comment, and subscribe means the world to me and really helps this channel grow and build as it finds new musicians. Our live guitar tone matters a lot to us as musicians, and even though the audience may not really care about the end result, we all know that we do deep down inside. So every time Fractal releases a new firmware update, especially one that changes the architecture of the amplifiers, you know I have to check it out and see if they've added new features or amps that I want to take on the road with me. Since I'm working with a wedding band, the majority of our repertoire was recorded with classic instruments and classic gear, but I've never really found a home for Fender amps and Marshall amps and Vox and stuff like that in my unit because I always felt like there were other brands that did those tones better. You know, why use a deluxe reverb when I can use a Dumble ODS, or why use a Marshall Plexi when I can use a Friedman Brown Eye? But in this latest firmware update with the Cygnus X-3, completely knocked these amps out of the park, and today we're going to go over how I'm going to start implementing them in my own live tone. Fractal went all out with the new Cygnus X-3 amp modeling in firmware 25 for the X-3 and firmware 7 and 8 respectively for the FM9 and FM3, including brand new preamp and power amp algorithms, redoing the modeling for output transformers and preamp supply voltages, and a whole bunch of other stuff including power amp biasing and supply sags. And as a result, every single amp has been completely remastered using new measurement techniques and analytical methods according to Fractal themselves. This results in amplifiers feeling even more responsive and authentic to their real-life tube counterparts. So I just wanted to go over some of the new amps that Fractal has either added or severely updated in this latest firmware update for the X-3, the FM9, and the FM3. Starting with the Fender amps, so they redid all of the amps in this latest update using the new Cygnus X-3, and they've gone in and just completely redid these amps, and they all sound so fantastic. They sound so incredible, and they feel so responsive. I want to kind of play through some of these new amps and kind of talk about how I plan on implementing them in my own tones and why I think these sound and feel the best that they ever have. So I have pretty much all the controls set to noon except for the gain, and while using a Strat, you just get these beautiful clean tones that you're used to hearing with a Strat. It just sounds exactly like what I would expect a Fender clean tone to sound like. And I have no desire to move any of the knobs or controls or anything because in my mind, this is how a twin reverb is supposed to sound. It sounds so full. It sounds very rich and very responsive. And the dynamic range on these amps are ridiculous. I can play super soft, or I can really dig in. And it'll respond exactly the way that the real amp would. The next one that I want to touch upon is this new Brit 800, so JCM 800, but this is the 2203. Previously, we only had the 2204, and I think this amp really does the Marshall thing better than any other amp model in this unit, and I'll kind of demonstrate why. So that's using the single coil mode in this guitar. If I go to the humbucker, which again is a PAF voiced kind of pickup here in my LsL Saticoy, you get even more of that. In my mind, that's exactly what a Marshall stack is supposed to sound like. It has the right tone. It has the distortion and saturation, but without feeling modern and heavy. It just kind of feels loud, and it feels like it has punch and impact, and it doesn't sound like it's over the top. So if we raise the gain up a little bit, and by a little bit I mean I'm just gonna turn it to 10. I mean, that's amazing. And if we turn up the treble to kind of go with it. And if I go back to the single coil mode on this guitar, we get some really great classic rock tones. I mean, that's exactly what I want in a Marshall style amp. So I'm really happy that they've gone back and redone a lot of these amps, because I felt like in the previous firmwares they were close, but something with the master volume taper just didn't feel or sound right, or you would get breakup super early on these Fender amps, which in real life you got to push those things loud until they start to break up. And I know that there's always a difference between close monitoring a modeling unit versus having the physical tube amp 2 feet away from your face at gig volume. But every time I've owned a deluxe reverb, twin reverb, or a Princeton, I had to make the amp uncomfortably loud before it started to break up, and I wasn't able to get that from the Fractal realistically until this latest update. So I'm really happy that they've implemented those changes. My signal chain is really simple. It's just amp into cabinet. You guys know I use these Mesa 412 cabinets for everything I do, and just a little bit of room reverb and my master compression. So no different from mic in the amp and plugging it into a preamp and compressor in the studio. That just about wraps up today's video. If you guys haven't downloaded the new firmware yet, go to Fractal's website and download it for your unit of choice so you can start using all these new amps. Everything's been remastered and redone, and I think you're going to really enjoy them. If you want more content on the regular, follow me on social media. Those links are in the description below. Be sure to subscribe. It means the world to me, and it goes a long way without having to pay anything. Until next time, everyone, keep on following your dreams.